Welcome to the Success Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Christian Evans. This podcast is about helping you in your relationship with diet and exercise to help you achieve success in your fitness journey. In today's show, we have our guest, Jalyn Porter. Jalyn Porter, 36, of Chicago, Illinois, is a compliance specialist for an online lending financial institution. She started her weight loss journey in May of 2018, and with the highest amount of weight loss being at 92 pounds in several inches. Weight loss is a continuous journey, and even though you may fail, each day is a chance for a fresh start, says Jalyn. And everybody, let's introduce Miss Jalyn Porter. Thank you for attending the Success Fitness Podcast. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. No problem. So what inspired you to lose weight, and how much weight did you lose during that journey?
Sure. So my weight loss journey had seriously began in 2018. I had tried several ways, several different methods, several different programs, diets, what have you, to lose weight all my life, because as many of you know, obesity is hereditary sometimes. So I do come from a large family, and we are very loving. We love to eat. That is how we show our love. So I grew up around food my whole life. Christian knows this, as we are cousins. So this is very a part of our culture. So it's been an ongoing issue for me in my whole life, but I decided to actually take a chance make a change after I had my daughter. I want to see her grow up. I want to watch her walk across several stages with her educational accomplishments. I want to see my grandchildren, and I just wanted to be a better person for her. So in January of 2018, I decided that I would take control, and I began to start the process for my weight loss surgery, which was a gastric sleeve. And I told myself in January, I said, I will have this surgery by the end of May. And I did. I had it May 25th, 2018. So I wanted to make an overall change with my health and improvement. Going into my journey, I have always had hypertension, high cholesterol, borderline diabetes. At one point, I had begun to take medication to bring it down. Once I got it under control, it still remained elevated, my sugar levels. So I just wanted to be rid of all of those borderline diagnoses, if you will. That was what prompted me to actually make the change.
Okay. So explain to us your thought process, even leading up to the weight loss surgery.
Okay, so the thought process is that do I decide to take it? At that point, it was still kind of taboo with most people. Most people who were even interested in having such a procedure never really shared it or never really talked about it, because they wanted it to remain, low key and profile. So I had thought about it several times before. Different family members, tried to encourage me to do it, but I just wasn't ready to commit to it. And then finally, once I began to see people in my smaller circle experience success with their weight loss surgery, a few coworkers had it, and I said, maybe it is attainable. Maybe it is something that I can do. It wasn't as if my health was extremely in jeopardy, but it was in jeopardy enough that I needed to make a decision, either continue to struggle on my own or get the help that I needed, because it's not solely relying on the tool itself. You have to work the tool as well. So I decided I didn't care about being ridiculed. I didn't care about the questions. I decided and determined who I would share my story with, depending on their genuine thought and concern. It's not something that I wanted to share with everybody immediately going off, because as I said, it was taboo. So it was a lot of preparation as far as what will they say, what will they think. And then once I actually let go of caring what anyone thought or caring what anyone about the questions, I said, I'll do it. So once I had put it in my mind and said, this is what I'm going to do, I had my family behind me. I went ahead and just went with it. After I said it in January, it wasn't any more thought process. After that was a matter of lining everything up and getting everything done and just checking everything off.
Okay. Okay. I totally understand that. Um, Personally, I can really attest that after seeing your weight loss transformation, it made me think twice about my personal perceptions of weight loss surgery. Right. Um, just being fully transparent, being from somebody who's lost weight, I used to see things one way, right? Is, oh, you have to do it this way. You have to do it this exact way. Um, just being ignorant in that fact and during that time, because you know when you're losing weight, you're like, hey, everybody should do what I'm doing, right? And I could never understand one who would uh, go under the knife or weight loss
Mhm.
surgery until once I really started to see, it's like, okay, everybody's journey is different. You
Mhm.
know, going through what you just said about, hey, what would people think, and you know, this, that, and the third. I'm like, no, like people have feelings too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And trying to consider that versus thinking my way is the way, or if somebody didn't do it this type of way versus that type of way,
Mhm.
um, they're less than or they didn't count.
Mhm.
And one of the main reasons why I changed my outlook on that was seeing yours, right? And being
Thanks.
that we are family. And I'm like, okay, no, this, it touched home. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because somebody had got to a point to where um, they know they wanted to make a change. And however that change came across, that's what they did.
Mhm.
Just as you get older, you realize in life, it may sound harsh when I say it, is that you have to do what it is that you need to do to win, and
Exactly.
whatever that is,
Exactly.
because we are fighting against so many things that we don't have
Mhm.
any control of. Like,
Mhm.
you know, a burger just ain't a burger no more. It has
Right.
1,000 other different things that make you want to keep craving that burger again. You know, don't get me wrong, we all have our free will in our choices and different things like that. But once you start to, you know, investigate what's in this food, you cannot negate the possibilities of what type of psychological effects those alterations to that food can
Mhm.
have. And that's
Mhm.
honestly what made me change my mind just about people with weight loss surgery or even thinking about it. So I'm totally for it. I'm totally get it, because I honestly believe we aren't fighting a fair fight. You know,
Exactly.
understand what I'm saying for
Right.
us with
Right.
food? Because I understand this myself. I can down a 3 pound um, tub of Sam's Club chocolate covered almonds like it's nothing. You know what I mean? Because I'm
Mhm.
chasing the taste. It's like, why am I chasing that taste so much? You know,
Right.
why can't I just pull it down if my stomach already told me, hey, you're full,
Right.
you're eating too much. So yeah, I'll totally just commend you on that. And it's one of those things to where it's like, you know, as you get older, you check yourself, you
Mhm.
regulate yourself about your perceptions, because your way of doing things isn't uh, the way, isn't
Mhm.
isn't concrete. So um, post workout, I mean post surgery, what was your nutrition like? How did that change? How did that have to change?
Well, it did change drastically. Now, I did go through the University of Chicago, and there are several different bariatric programs here in the Chicagoland area. Every hospital is different, but for my particular program, my program was that I didn't have to go on any strenuous diets prior. I didn't have to do any type of, some people do liquid diets for weeks. Mine was only 24 hours. So I got that ready for 24 hours. And then they actually introduced me to food after I woke up. So after I came to from the anesthesia, I had to swallow, and I had to get myself used to eating, because it's not realistic to not eat food for weeks at a time. It's not realistic. And how they prepared me to actually be able to handle eating food is that they did it in doses, they did it in stages. So, like the first stage, and it went for 2 week increments. It was a puree, a lot of hummus. The solid food that I was able to eat was eggs. I ate a lot of eggs for protein, black beans, different type of soups. I added protein mixtures to my food, different milk. Like if I had soup, I would add protein milk to the soup. So that was like the first couple of weeks. And then I began to experience with salads, light greens, romaine lettuce, nothing fibrous like spinach or cabbage, but romaine lettuce and things of that sort. I ate a lot of seafood. When I went to the second stage, a lot of salmon, sometimes shrimp, tuna, depending on, the occasion. And then you kind of just gradually go into each stage. And of course, it's always portion control. It's always mindful of carbs, mindful of fats, lots of beans, protein, dairy is good, and things of that sort. So it kind of just went through different stages. But by that second month, I was able, maybe the third, because it's been a while. So maybe about the second or third month, I was able to actually transition into like chicken. Beef was the last thing that I could process. And the reason why is because beef is such a coarse meat. It can be dry. And when you have weight loss surgery, things just don't necessarily go down as smoothly as they used to. So you want to make sure that you have things that, are moist and also moist, but not fatty, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So it is a science to it. Once you get it down, then it's pretty much mind over matter at that point.
I got you. That's very interesting. Again, like the phases, the foods that were introduced. Now, how long was each phase, or was it more like as you felt you could handle a different phase? How did that work? Was it like a week or 2 weeks? Or how did that work out?
It was about 2 to 3 weeks. So for the puree stage, that was probably what felt like the longest because it's the least desirable. Let's just be honest. Eating hummus and puree, I could not do any type of puree food. So I stuck to soups and eggs and things like that. Now, if you wanted to puree meat, you can. I don't recommend it. It's not tasty, but things like that. But it was 2 to 3 weeks. So you had to go to your doctor. They would, see where you're at, see where your weight loss is. Are there any regurgitation issues, any type of acid reflux? And if you were able to actually, go through that and you felt fine, then you would be able to introduce. You would always just ease into the next stage, though. Never just jump into it full force, just for different reasons, but nothing heavy. So I knew a couple people who was eating chili like after day 3, and that's not it's not what you want to do, because first of all, it's ground beef and you got the beans and it's just really heavy. The thing about weight loss surgery, and even to this day, even though I'm 3 years out, eating too heavy of foods is not good. You don't feel good. You feel weighed down. So it was about 2 to 3 weeks for each phase, maybe 3 weeks, because by that second month, that's when I began to be able to eat a little bit more freely.
I got you. That's, like I said, that's interesting. So with your new diet intact, what did your workout routine consist of if you were able to do like any type of physical activity afterwards?
So after 2 weeks, they do want you to move around. Now, I will say, if I could do one thing different, if I felt like I needed to go back for any reason and have some type of follow-up, I would recommend working out at the 2-week mark, as they suggest, walking and being active and just going for it, because the longer you wait to work out, the harder it is to lose additional weight and maybe keep it off. So I began to work out after like that 6 months to a year. I waited pretty late. And I would like to, thank you, of course, because, I reached out to you several times for different tools, different methods. And essentially what I was doing was the workouts you were giving me. The HIIT workouts, the different exercises, the Romanian deadlifts. And then as I began to get more serious about my workout, I started then adding things myself, looking up different workouts that would help with certain body parts. I would start to develop a routine at home. I didn't have a gym membership. I didn't have an elliptical. I didn't have a treadmill. I still don't. I would work out in my room. I would do different things. I would run stairs. I would go to parks. I would find ways to actually get my workout in at 4 and 5 in the morning. And I was dedicated to that. So I just stuck with that. And that really helped me to be more disciplined and focused, because when you begin to work out and your mental changes, you begin to want to do better in other areas. So if you're working out, you're saying, you know what, I'm working out. Let's not sacrifice that by eating a double cheeseburger later. Let's not sacrifice that by eating 3 or 4 sundaes. You can have treats or, reward yourself. But once you get the discipline of working out, it's a domino effect. It just goes through your life with it.
I can definitely attest to that. And after this, I'm gonna send you some more workouts that you can try. But I'm glad that I could help. I'm stuttering right now because even hearing that is still, what do you call it? It's still gratifying to an extent and humbling that even something as, I wouldn't say this is a regular routine for me as far as, the right workouts or whatever the case may be, because this is what I do, but how it affects the person on the other end receiving it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, and appreciate you actually going through it, and that it could still benefit your life and your weight loss journey. So what did you learn about yourself doing your whole weight loss transformation? Well, it's to continue to go on because it is a lifestyle. So what did you learn about yourself, good or bad?
It's a lifestyle. It's a constant, and I want to be real, because what most people think is that once you have a weight loss surgery, it's peaches and cream, and it's not. It's mental. Like that first year, I never realized how much food was around me. I also realized that, like I said, sometimes things may be generational curses. My father showed his love for me, Chris, by feeding me, cooking. That's how you love on people. And I began to realize, and I'm trying to get away from it. I'm the same way with my child. I cook for her because I love her. You pour love into that. So I learned different things about myself on emotional levels. Like I just said, how I show my love. That's something that I learned. I learned that I often stress eat. I learned that triggers for me for comfort, if something is going wrong, I immediately want to seek comfort. You begin to learn your different triggers. Then you also begin to learn how to find different outlets. For example, when I would go out to eat, I had to learn how to talk. I had to learn how to have conversations, because when you're out to eat with people, and if you are not eating as much as everyone else, people begin to question, well, why aren't you eating? Aren't you full? What's wrong? Is everything okay? So I began to become a conversationalist. I began to, think about different things that I could speak to people about. I became a menu connoisseur. I started studying menus so that when I went out to eat, I would automatically know what I wanted without having to look over it again and then make a wrong decision and ask something that I didn't need. You know what I mean? I became strategic with it. So that's pretty much what I learned about myself. I learned how to recognize my triggers. I learned how to converse. And I also learned basically that there's different ways to actually focus your energy from eating than just binging out on food, for the most part.
That sounds so similar to what happened in your household, and into mine in regards to being shown love. Yes, we are family, and just hearing that side of what was going on with me was still going on with you in regards to that. That's how our family shows love. We're very hospitable. We're hosts. We express our love through cooking food, conversations, and fellowship. That's just how we grew up. But at the same time, it can still have a negative effect on how it affects, like you said, your daughter, or how it affected you, how it affected me. But nothing was done in malice, like, hey, we're just feeding you, you know
Right.
what I mean? It's just, it's done out of love,
Right.
but that's just what our parents knew, just at that time. And there's nothing wrong with it directly, but just kind of looking at things, it's like, okay, I want to learn how to channel that just a little bit differently
Right.
for mine. So what is your current diet and exercise routine look like today?
Well, my current diet and exercise does not look the same as it did a year ago, unfortunately. Like many people, struggling with this pandemic, it has been extremely hard. But I remain positive because it's a lifestyle. And like I said in my bio, you fall, but every day is a new day to start. Every week is a new week to start. Every month is a new month to start. So right now, my current diet, I still do portion control. My portions are a little larger than I like them to be, but I still portion control. I do still limit my sugar intake, which has never been an issue for me. My key issues is pasta and rich and comforting food. That's what I like. I was never a snacker. So chips don't bother me. Candy doesn't bother me. It's the actual food. So basically my diet now still consists of meat. I was never really a beef person. I do still eat chicken and turkey and a lot of seafood. Um, and it's just now more so I just need to recognize that the portions are too much. The portions and keeping a consistent workout would eliminate that 20-pound gain that, you know, I suffered during the pandemic. Because like I said, I'm completely transparent. Gaining weight is a part of the process. We all have been going through an emotional turmoil. Like I said, I look for food as comfort, so it's not any secret. But am I disheartened by my weight gain? No, I'm still proud of myself. I'm still proud of the fact that I am not where I used to be 3-4 years ago. And will I get back on track? Yes, because like I said, it's a lifestyle. So I'm in it to win it, and I'm going to get right back on that mule. It's not going to be any issue.
And I'm so glad that you were transparent about that because, about weight gain after weight loss. And this is a subject that I've yet to sit down to contemplate on how to articulate it correctly. Because I need to address that just about myself. But just taking far from what you said, it's more like, all right, the assumption that it's off and it'll stay off. And for different strokes for different folks. Some people, you know, it did work out that way for them. But you shouldn't look at yourself any less if you weren't the one, you know what I mean, that could, I wouldn't even say stick to it because things happen. You know, we have this thing in society to where, you know, there's no excuses and different things like that. And I think that's totally bull because things do come up and things do affect you. We do have feelings. If you are an emotional eater, like I know I am, or I can be, how you admitted that, you know, you can be, and things do affect you, you know, and you react the best way you can react. Some people react by eating food. Some people react by doing other physical things, whether it's harm to somebody else or they get in the gym. Everybody's different, but that's very, I would say, big of you to, you know, admit that because so many people are afraid to, and they kind of feel like they let somebody down because, you know, we got social media and social pressures of looking a certain way and different things like that. It's like, no, it's life. You know, things happen. You know, my feelings were hurt. You know, this happened to me. Hey, they shorted me on my check this week, so I had to eat, you know what I'm saying, rice and chicken, or, you know, something that would have been more higher in carbs or not really aligned to what you were doing or accustomed to eating. So yeah, there's different things that will happen to you on your weight loss journey, but like you said, you were being strategic. I mean, you still are strategic. Like before you go out to eat, you'll Google a menu, or, you know, like, okay, what do they have? That way you have a fighting chance to give yourself a fighting chance to succeed in your fitness journey. So with that being said, what advice would you give to those who are on the fence about starting their weight loss journey?
Just get started. Get started. The first step to getting started is deciding how you want to attain it. Whether it be you want to do Weight Watchers. I've done Weight Watchers before. Is it successful? Yes, it is. I've actually done that post surgery. Just basically get started. There's so many options to losing weight. There's so many ways and strategies that you can. You can get started. There's so many apps that you can download. There's a women's workout app that I also use. It gives you daily workouts. All you have to do is get started. It can be as simple as deciding I'm going to take a 30-minute walk each morning. That's getting started. It could be, you know what, I want to eliminate juice. The very first step I took to losing weight back in 2008 was I stopped drinking pop. I stopped drinking pop in 2008. Pop and juice, and I lost about 30 pounds. That was the first time that I really started to try to lose weight. Seriously, was that, and that's when I did Weight Watchers. I lost about 35 pounds. So once you just get started, and keep it here that you want to do it, you can. Do you have to use the same method every time you lose weight? No, you don't. No, you don't. As long as you're getting it done, as long as it's healthy, and by healthy, I mean physically, mentally, emotionally, long as it's healthy, then do it. And if it works for you, then it works for you. You don't have to do weight loss surgery. You don't have to do Weight Watchers. Some people are able to just get in the gym and go crazy and be fully just dedicated to that particular method, and that's fine. But I would just encourage people just to get started. Talk about it. Find someone that's an, accountability partner. That's the benefit of having a trainer, that they're accountable. They hold you accountable. They push you. They motivate you. Just get started. That's all you have to do.
And there you have it, folks. That is Miss Jalyn Porter. Jalyn, let everybody know where they can contact you if you are open to that, to share more about your personal weight loss journey, whether it be on Facebook or Instagram. Let everybody know.
Absolutely. So I am on social media. You can follow me on Instagram at JAENISE. That is JAEJENISE. I'm also on Facebook as J Ebony Star. That's just the letter J, Ebony with the I and 2 R's for the star. I also can be emailed at porterlegacy@gmail.com. I'm very open. If you want to know how to get started, I can refer you to my particular surgeon, my bariatrics division of University of Chicago. They'll take great care of you. Other than that, I'm available.
All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I hope you found inspiration in today's episode. This brings us to the end of another episode of the Success Fitness Podcast. Please join my Facebook group, Success Fitness Family. We post fitness motivation, workout humor, videos, and memes. The link will be in the description box. Thank you for subscribing to the Success Fitness Podcast. And until the next episode, please remember, success fitness is the mindset and success is golden. #more weight. Peace out.
Have a good one.
Are you looking for a personal trainer that will focus on you to help achieve success in your fitness journey? If yes, please book your in-person or Zoom one-on-one personal training sessions with me, Christian Evans, at christiansweightsuccess.net.